We are going to cover Amazon, we're going to cover eBay, Mercari, and Etsy. What's going on, everybody? My name is Miko. Welcome to Just Flippin'. And before we get into it, I just want to thank each and every one of you guys for sticking around the channel, investing your time, and coming along with me on this business journey. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys which marketplaces has the highest seller fees. Now, I know as resellers, we face a ton of problems. We face a ton of adversity, but in my opinion, a really big problem that I have is the seller fees. And yes, I know, fees are inevitable. That's how these marketplaces make their money, and I have no problem with it. And if you treat that as your overhead to run your business, you can just compare it to running a brick and mortar store where you have the cost of rent, electric, and other cost of goods that you have to keep your establishment running. But aside from fees, the one thing I don't like is how fees are climbing exponentially. And I know it has to do with inflation. I know it has to do with the current economy. It's just something that we as resellers do not like because it cuts into our margins a bit more. So I went ahead and I did the research on 4 different marketplaces today. We are going to cover Amazon, we're going to cover eBay, Mercari, and Etsy. I'm going to show you guys the user base, and I'm going to show you which marketplace has the highest seller fees, and I'm going to show you guys which marketplace has the lowest seller fees out of the 4 that I've just mentioned. Now, I'm hoping you can use this information to better tailor your choice towards what kind of business you're running, what type of items you're selling, and what type of margins you're looking for based on the amount of users that have an account through these platforms. So let's go over the user base of these 4 companies so you can broaden your market and convert more sales. Number 1 is kind of obvious. I think all of us in the United States of America has placed an order through this company. And yes, this company is Amazon. And Amazon has an estimated 300 to 600 million active users. Now, Amazon hasn't came out and said this directly. This is just what is believed by the majority of people. It lies somewhere between 300 to 600 million active users. And that right there places Amazon as the number 1 biggest marketplace, so you can't go wrong with Amazon. Now, coming in second, and my personal favorite marketplace, is eBay with 138 million active users. And it differs a little bit from Amazon as there's more used goods being sold on eBay, more collectible type things, just a different type of market than your average Amazon user. eBay has a huge user pool, and eBay makes it really easy for you to reach those international customers as well. Coming in at number 3 in active users is Etsy. Now, I've never used Etsy personally, but I have recommended Etsy to people who are really creative, who like making their own things. I feel like Etsy has the best marketplace for handmade goods and a market for just custom items overall. Now, Etsy has an active user base of around 96.3 million users. And coming in last at number 4 of the marketplaces we are going to cover today is Mercari with 20 million active users. That seems kind of low, and it is pretty low compared to the other marketplaces. Mercari does have its perks. We are going to get into that once we get into the seller fees of these companies. So Mercari at number 4, 20 million active users. Now let's get into the seller fees of these marketplaces and see which marketplace better suits your needs as a seller. Let's start with Amazon again, the biggest marketplace in the world. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. If you can sell on Amazon, if you are ungated on everything and have been grandfathered in, you hit the mother lode. You are in prime position to take advantage of your e-commerce business and take off at an exponential rate. Now, most people do not have that luxury. We have to work for it, provide invoices, go through all the loops and hassles to be ungated in certain categories so we can maximize those margins. Now, me personally, I do not use Amazon to sell currently. Right now, I'm solely focused on eBay and the other smaller marketplaces in that space. So now, Amazon is a bit complicated with these seller fees. Generally, you're going to pay 8 to 15% on your items that sell. Now, in order to get selling on Amazon, you're going to have to pay for a subscription. Those start at 99 cents and up. Now, that just depends what level you're in your business. That is solely up to you. That is a personalized decision. I would go through the options, read up on that, and choose which one best suits your needs. Now, if you really want to get deep into Amazon and choose to go the Amazon FBA route, you're gonna pay more fees on top of the 8 to 15% you're gonna be paying in the beginning. So make sure you calculate all of those fees and all of those payouts into your final margins so you can confidently make that money. Now let's get into eBay. This is without a doubt my current favorite platform. First off, they give you 250 free listings a month if you do not have a store subscription. If you go over that 250 free listing threshold, you pay an additional 35 cents for each listing after that. Now, generally the fees on eBay will currently range from 13.25% to 15%, plus 30 cents processing on every transaction. Now that 13.25 to 15% is gonna be what you see generally, but with all categories and dollar amounts, fees are gonna vary. Now let's move on to Etsy, and in my opinion, on paper, Etsy looks like the cheapest option when it comes to selling fees. I don't know if any of you guys out there have any more experience. Leave it in the comments if you have sold on Etsy, and let me know how it went. I'm really thinking about getting into Etsy. Etsy charges you 20 cents per listing flat. As soon as you make an account and start listing on Etsy, it's gonna cost you 20 cents per. But the good news is you're only gonna pay 6.5% in seller fees. That is the lowest I've seen out of the marketplaces that I have researched. So Etsy, 6.5% seller fees, that is solid, especially if you have a nice assortment of handcrafted items. I would really look into Etsy if I were you. Now the last marketplace we're gonna go over is Mercari, and Mercari is an odd one. I feel like Mercari could be really beneficial to somebody that has a lot of listings, because Mercari does not charge you for listings. 0% and $0 for each listing you post. So essentially, you can post as much as you want on Mercari for free. And the seller fees on Mercari generally range around 13%. Like I said, you're gonna have those categories in every marketplace that differentiate a few percentage points, and especially if you creep up into the high dollar amounts. But generally, you're gonna see around a 13% seller fee on Mercari, plus a 50-cent processing fee on every transaction. So that kind of puts Mercari in the middle of the pack on seller fees. And pair that with their 20 million user base, it doesn't seem like the best option to sell on. But like I said, if you could exploit it for the free listing, it could sway in your favor, and it might work for you and your business. So after doing the research and going over the user base and the seller fees, I hope you guys were able to draw up a decent plan as to which marketplace you're thinking about selling on. And a question for those of you experienced resellers out there: which platform do you like the best? Please leave it in the comments. And if there's anyone out there who's an experienced Amazon seller, definitely drop me a line, because I want to learn more about that. I love to talk business as always, and that goes for any one of you guys. If you want to talk, just leave a comment down below. I always make sure to answer everyone, because community to me is very, very important. So anyways, I hope you guys were able to get some valuable information from this. My name is Miko. Guys, if you want, check out the other videos on this channel. There's a ton of information. I have some live pics on there for you guys, and there's going to be a ton more content to come. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, drop an elbow on that like button, and remember guys, you can do it as well. As long as you put the work in, anything is possible, and I hope you have a good one.